Hello everyone and welcome to this week's weekly wear where we are going to be testing out a product that is a spin-off of a classically loved foundation. Yes, very hard to spit that sentence out for some reason, but ding! We've got not the original Revlon ColorStay, but the light cover version. Ooh, it's got loads of sunscreen in there and it's just supposed to be good. I feel like this has good reviews so far. I myself remember loving the original ColorStay, but here you go. It's around $14 depending on where you buy it. You do get a fluid ounce of product in here and there are 12 different shades, which, do I need to harp? Could use improvement. Regardless, they say that this is an effortless long wear fluid foundation with buildable coverage that's gonna look flawless and feel fresh for 12 hours. Not even up to 12 hours, but it says for 12 hours. It's lightweight, perfects the skin just the right amount to even out the complexion and hydrates the skin and protects it with SPF, as I said. It's free of a lot of things, so that's apparent, good. I can definitely say I'm glad there's no fragrance in it. And then just the same claims that I pretty much already talked about in the last part. And to use, shake it, place small dots onto the face. You can apply with your fingertips or a brush. You can build it up. Ta-da. So, yay, that is that. As I said, I'm excited to try out a product that is a spin-off of a product that I used to love. Hopefully things go well. I got the shade 150 Buff. Hopefully, I believe that's the shade I used to use in the original ColorStay, so that's why I got it. It looks like I might have gone outdoors a little bit more when I used to use this stuff. Considering the last year plus of circumstances, it makes sense that I might have had a bit more of a tan. So here's my skin and all of the things that we can test this foundation out on. Scabs, pimples, blackheads, pores, we've got it all, folks. Oh, okay, this looks a lot lighter coming out of the bottle than it did in the bottle, right? So let's go ahead, see how this does. It's day one, so no primer or anything. Okay, yeah, this looks a lot lighter than the bottle color made me believe it was gonna be. I think it works for me, so okay. Definitely smells like sunscreen, which I don't really mind, honestly. Provided coverage, but didn't do too great in my nose pores with a brush there. Do we see? Yes, yes. Ooh. So hopefully I can remedy that, but let's see. We'll try this with a sponge. I just feel like I'm trying too hard to make an Instagram or TikTok video or something by putting this directly on my face, but that's okay. Much lighter coverage with a sponge as I expected, but they do say that this is buildable, so we're gonna give it a try. See if we can cover stuff up. And there you have it. My God, especially on camera, that looks ghostly pale. It doesn't look quite that light in real life, but there we have it. I was definitely able to build things up. I mean, seriously, that is not the same color. But regardless, as I said, I was able to build things up, get things to look a bit nicer than they did initially. It is not a full cover foundation, so you can definitely still see my darker, more prominent blemishes peeking through. But overall, I think it looks all right. I feel like it has a little bit of like a, I don't know, it's oil free, so I want to say it's not greasy, but it's got a bit of like a slippery, silicone-y, oily kind of a feel to it, like a body oil. Yeah, just that really light kind of a grease. So we'll see. I mean, I'll set it with powder and everything like usual, but for now, there it is. I'm gonna get on with my day, put on the rest of my makeup, and get on with my day. And then I'll see y'all for my check-in at the end of the night so we can see how this hung in. Ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening, end of the night here on day 1 of testing. I am certainly curious to take a closer look at my face. It's been a lot of mask on, mask off, mask on, mask off today. Lots of just little diddles here and there. And I've noticed a little bit of transfer onto my mask. However, I haven't been noticing transfer onto my fingers, and it has felt very lightweight all day. So either it looks great and somehow remained lightweight, or it feels lightweight because it's not on my face anymore. So overall, I would say not bad. Not perfect, but my cheeks and my forehead actually look pretty good. It's mostly on my nose that it has rubbed off, and also around my chin area, which, you know, a lot of that I'm gonna attribute to my mask, since those are the places that it rubs against the most, I suppose, on me. And it doesn't look horrible there. It doesn't look perfect. It's a little blotchy, I guess, patchy in those areas, but overall, just with how lightweight it has felt and the not noticing of transfer onto my fingers anyways, it's been real comfy. So I'm certainly color me curious to test this with primers and the like, and just to see what we can do, you know. I'll try it with concealers, we can use a super light layer of it, and just overall, we're gonna keep testing. We have hope, we have faith. We're gonna give it a try. So I'm gonna get on with my life, do all that testing for you. You won't have to wait the multiple days of testing though. Y'all will just have to wait 1 second here. Power of editing, ready? Ding! Hello everyone, good evening. It is the end of the night here on day 3 of testing, and oh boy, do I have things to share with y'all. Are these menacing fingers? Are these sad fingers? Are these happy, I've got the secret fingers? Well, you're gonna have to keep watching to find out. You saw how things were looking on day 1, going into day 2. I went ahead and used my Ciaté Watermelon Hydrating Primer, as well as my L'Oreal Full Cover Concealer, and a brush and a sponge to buff it out and apply it and whatnot. And I thought things looked okay, you know. I had used a hydrating primer because I thought the foundation looked a little bit like it could use a little hydration maybe. I thought it would maybe look a little bit more natural on my skin, a little less makeup-like, but I didn't find that it really helped. But I still went ahead and gave it a shot and was hopeful that the primer would help overall throughout the day. The concealer certainly helped so I could use less of the foundation. And overall, you know, it was buildable. It looked fine on my skin. I didn't think it looked great, but it looked fine. Like, there wasn't anything inherently wrong with it. It just looked a little bit more like makeup than I personally would prefer. However, throughout the day, it felt very lightweight and I didn't notice any transfer. Like, whenever I would just slightly itch my face or whatever the case was, I saw no transfer onto my fingers, so I was very excited. Granted, it was a very low-key day that day. It was just a regular work day, so no mask wearing or anything. I was just in my apartment all day. But either way, it was still a long day of wear, and at the end of the night, I was a little bit oily feeling. However, I thought the foundation looked kind of semi-matte. I was quite surprised with how not oily my face looked, because I mean, I didn't feel overtly oily or anything, but I felt, oh, apparently Galileo disagrees with my evaluation of my face that night, but either way, I was pleased with how things looked. There was, once again, minimal transfer when I did my swipe tests and everything, and overall, I thought it had a graceful fade. It wasn't perfect. Honey, you were so opinionated. What? You know, definitely some fade and whatnot around my nose and my mouth, you know, generally where I tend to get some wear, but overall, I thought it looked pretty dang good at the end of the night. So on day 3 here, I went ahead and, like I usually do, I went ahead and whipped out my Beautiful Balls Holy Balls primer from Guerlain. Also used my L'Oreal Full Cover Concealer again, and just used a light layer of this foundation with a brush to stipple it on and rub it in, and a sponge to blend it out. Once again, I don't know, the application process can be a little tricky with this stuff. It can be a little hard to blend into the pores and whatnot, but overall I think I got it to look okay. It still looked like makeup overall, but I thought it looked okay on my skin, and throughout the day here it has felt super comfy. Once again, very lightweight, barely like I'm wearing any foundation. It has only started to feel like I'm wearing foundation within like the past hour or so here, and I think that's mainly because once again my oils have started coming through. It's been another low-key day, so no mask wearing or anything, but considering how long I've had this on and the fact that I'm just starting to look and feel even a little bit oily, and really the only problem areas are once again my nose, just with nose pore settling. I don't know if this needs more of like a pore filling type of a primer, but overall I'm really impressed with this stuff, and it's making me really want to try out the good old ColorStay foundation once again to see if that can become a holy grail of mine again. I mean, it certainly was when I was only, you know, able to buy one foundation at a time and had to use up the whole thing back in grad school and whatnot. It certainly has me curious to try out that formula once more, but this is on this foundation. So pros and cons here, because there are some cons. I don't think this is going to be for everybody. However, the pros. First off, buildable coverage. I personally enjoy that in my foundation. I don't think you will ever be able to get this to full coverage. It does not advertise its formula to be a full coverage foundation, so don't expect that. I would say they're right on the money by saying this is a light to medium finish. Another pro is that it is very lightweight throughout the day. I had zero problems with it feeling heavy. Also transfer proof, I would label it as. I mean, don't get me wrong, like if I were to take a white cloth and stick my face in it and like mildly rub or something, I'm like trying, is that a hug simulation that I just tried to describe? I mean, I don't really rub my face when I hug people, but you know, just like if I went to hug someone and they were wearing a white shirt, I wouldn't want to face plant right into their shirt because there would be a little transfer of my makeup onto their shirt, but I wouldn't have to worry that a whole face print would be wiped off. You know, I might be able to pass it off as like, oh, there's a little dirt on your shirt. Oops, where'd that come from? Instead of like, oh my God, there is no way I can explain away the massive face imprint that I just left. There's really no excusing that. So, also, I'm gonna throw it in here for a pro because I feel like maybe this is a thing. I feel like there might be some oil control to this. I don't know that there's any real substantial backing behind that claim of mine, but I just feel like my skin didn't get hardly as oily as it typically does throughout a day of wear. Even on a low-key day like this, I just feel like my skin typically ends up looking much more oily at the end of the night. So I think there might be some oil controlling properties in here. However, as I said, I do think there are some cons to this that will make it not great for everybody. First off being that it is a little tricky to apply. I personally don't find the application process to be great. It just is a little hard to blend, a little hard to smooth over the pores. If you have larger pores, I don't know that I would suggest this at all. It just really emphasizes them. And to that, you know, it can look like makeup. This isn't the most natural looking foundation I've ever worn. Even when I did get it to blend decently, you know, it looks like I'm wearing makeup. Not in an atrocious way or anything. It's just no one's gonna look at my face and be like, wow, you've got really naturally beautiful skin. They're gonna be like, your makeup looks, I mean, depending on how they think my makeup in general looks overall. But like if they think overall my makeup looks decent, they would comment that I'm wearing makeup. Do you get what I'm saying? And also, this would certainly not be good for all skin types. I only say that because of the, what I think is slightly oil controlling properties of this foundation. It can look a little dry in some places. Like around my mouth, I felt like it sometimes looked a little bit dry. So I don't know that this would be great for dry skin. That's just a hunch. I can't say for sure. So this is really where I need y'all to weigh in those comments down below. But there you go. There are my views on this foundation, and you know, saw how it wore on me, so you can make your own conclusions and everything. Please let me know if you have tried out this foundation. Like I said, what kind of skin do you have, and did it or did it not work for you? You can also let me know any other future weekly wears, foundation reviews you want to see here on my channel. You can also just let me know how you're doing. Tell me things. Comments down below. You can also let me know if you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, whatever the case may be, by giving it a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe. You can simply tap that notification bell down below and become a member of my casserole family here on my channel. I'd love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, just stay well until then. Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.